Put down your high caliber weapons and throw away that armor. It's time to get Primal. You have to hand it to Ubisoft for trying something different, and that's exactly what Far Cry Primal is. The game is set in 10,000 BC, during the beginning of the Mesolithic period, and it takes place in the fictional Oris Valley in Central Europe, an open world filled with iconic wildlife such as mammoths and saber-toothed tigers. Survival is a daily challenge as tribes come into conflict with one another and nature. The majestic land of Oros is torn due to the confrontation of the three dominant tribes who seek the same single objective: to conquer it. Takar's people, the Wenya tribe, is at risk. They're being attacked both by the cannibals of the Udum tribe, led by the cruel warrior Ul, and the fire worshippers of the Azila tribe, led by the high priestess Batari. Immersed in the untamed world of Oros, a land full of dangers, Takar will have to unite and protect the Wenya people from their dangerous enemies, the Udum and the Azila peoples. Built using the aging Dunia Engine 2 game engine, also used by Far Cry 4 and Far Cry 3, the game still promises amazing visuals. Initially thought to be a spin-off sized title similar to Far Cry 3 Blood Dragon, the Primal campaigns instead ended up being as long as Far Cry 4. Primal offers a fully fledged single-player experience, without multiplayer mode, as the developer wanted to focus on the game's core gameplay instead. This is probably not a bad thing though. I'm more than happy to frag friends with high-powered machine guns, but tapping holes into their skulls while they're still alive might have taken the LAN parties to another level, Dexter style. So far the game seems to be receiving mostly positive reviews, and from the little that I've played, it seems like an intriguing single-player experience. Something I'm already loving about the game is the excellent built-in benchmark. I know, I probably don't get excited about the same things as most gamers. Still, the inclusion of a built-in benchmark isn't something we expected to find, so it was a pleasant surprise. It also appears to do a great job of simulating the kind of performance gamers will see throughout the game. The benchmark runs for 50 seconds and spits out a number of results once complete. I've recorded the minimum and average frame rates. For testing, we've focused on the 1080p, 1440p and 4K resolutions using the ultra quality preset. There are also some results at 1080p using the very high preset as well. Finally, the latest AMD and Nvidia drivers were used, and this includes the GeForce 362 GameReady driver, which was released last night. Annoyingly, I just finished filming and editing this video when Nvidia released a GameReady driver for Far Cry Primal. This meant effectively having to start over again for the GeForce based graphics cards. However, it quickly became apparent that this new driver did nothing to improve single GPU performance in Primal, and instead just enables SLI support. Primal is very demanding with the ultra quality settings in use, even at 1080p, and it seems the days of 60 FPS plus at 1080p are becoming prehistoric, pun intended. Even the Fury X dipped down to 52 FPS, and it took a GTX 980 Ti to sustain over 60 FPS. Meanwhile, owners of what were once considered mid-range offerings in the GTX 960 and R9 380 cop a sharp stick in the eye. The 380 didn't fare too poorly, but the 34 FPS drops were noticeable. For smooth gameplay without noticeable frame drop-offs, games will require at least a GTX 970 or R9 390. At 1440p, the GTX 960 may as well be from the Stone Age. I can't imagine it providing playable performance at this resolution using anything higher than medium. Even the GTX 980 Ti couldn't average 60 FPS at 1440p and could be seen dropping down to 47 FPS. Personally, I found under these conditions the GTX 980 or R9 390X were required. Given what we've seen at the previous resolution, it comes as no surprise that a single 980 Ti or Fury X can't really deliver playable performance at 4K. Still, if you reduce the quality settings and remove SMAA, it should be possible to achieve smooth playable performance. Lowering the quality preset from ultra to very high at 1080p allowed for a 12% performance boost when using the GTX 960, and that wasn't enough for smooth gameplay. The R9 380 received a 14% performance boost for the average frame rate, while the minimum went unchanged. Higher end graphics cards such as the R9 390 were able to boost their minimum frame rate by as much as 17%. Finally, let's take a look at how the GTX 960 and R9 380 perform at 1080p using the various quality presets. As you can see, regardless of quality settings, the 960 is currently well behind the 380 in Primal. though we hope Nvidia will be able to further optimize their cards processing of the game shortly with another driver update, as they often do. Looking at the 380, we see a mild 14% performance boost when going from ultra to very high, and then a much larger 29% performance boost is seen when going from very high to just high. The high to normal preset netted us just 3% more performance, and finally, from normal to low boosted performance by 28%. I've no doubt that a great many of you are going to be disappointed with the performance we're seeing from the current generation GPUs in this title. To be fair, the graphics are highly detailed, and remember, this is a large open environment game. Also, if you back the quality settings down to high, which still looks very good, we found average frame rates are boosted by almost 50%. Still, those wanting to enjoy the prehistoric landscape in all of its high definition 1080p glory will need to shell out for a Radeon R9 390 or faster. 1440p gamers will need to pull out the big guns, and we really recommend a GTX 980 or faster here. As always, 4K gamers will require multiple high-end GPUs, though turning the quality settings down to high should be enough to receive playable performance with the GTX 980 Ti or Fury X. I expect a few performance enhancements to come out over the next few weeks, particularly in the form of an updated driver from Nvidia. Unfortunately, while the GeForce GameReady driver did deliver an SLI profile, it did nothing to improve the weak single GPU performance of their mid-range to lower end cards. On that note, we found the performance of the GeForce graphics cards very strange. The 980 Ti can be consistently found at the top of our charts, crushing everything, while the 980 struggles and often fails against the 390X. The 970 also struggled against the 390, but it was the 960 that shocked the most with what can only be described as horrible performance. Surely the GTX 960 shouldn't be that much slower than the R9 380 and Far Cry Primal. Also keep in mind that the game launched with the Day 1 patch, which did address a few stability and performance issues, so it's possible there could be more to come. Performance aside, Far Cry Primal looks like a lot of fun, and I hope the enjoyment lasts throughout the entire campaign. The Beastmaster elements of the game look like a lot of fun, and I bet Miley Cyrus's manager wishes he or she had the ability to tame animals just like Takar does. Be sure to let me know what you think about the Far Cry Primal single player experience, as well as the performance on your system in the comments and on our forum at hardwareunboxed.com. Good luck in the land of Oros, and I'll see you guys next time.